Welcome, beautiful people, to my channel. My name is Leah Rivera, and today I've decided to conduct a sort of creativity challenge or experiment on myself. And of course, the results of this is based off of my own personal preferences and personality and experience. So if you want to see how a visual and hands-on learner deals with doing only creative activities for a full day, then keep on watching. Quickly, I do want to elaborate on why I would even do something like this in the first place. Lately, I've been in sort of a funk and totally unmotivated and uninspired to do my work and work on my businesses, and that needs to stop like now. So, creative expression is amazing for everyone's overall health and mental or emotional well being. It's definitely an outlet for stress and feeling negativity. So, I wanted to express myself freely and see what happens. So, I definitely recommend changing up your routine or habits and hobbies, and for at least a single day, let it do its thing. See if maybe it could be the spark that you've been looking for. Alrighty, good morning, Leah. Wakey, wakey. So, for my first creative activity of the day, I decided that I would brush my teeth with my left hand. I'm a righty, so brushing your teeth with your left hand kind of wakes you up and makes your brain think, wait, what is happening? Like, you really got to think about what you're doing. So next I'm showering. Fun fact, I shower with cold water, at least for my hair because of the color, as you see. It is red now and I have to get used to not letting it fade out very easily, so cold water is best. So now what I'm going to do for my next creative activity is to blow dry, style my hair while watching Beauty and the Beast. Fun fact, I am actually a hairstylist, so this definitely allows me to be creative, makes me feel creative. I like being very active and hands-on, like I said in the beginning, so this really does kind of help with making me feel confident and good about myself, and I love the work that it takes to style hair. You'll see I'm going to be blow drying it, so if you want a video on how I blow dry it, please let me know. It takes a long time to explain, especially because my hair's so long and there's so many tips and tricks that I have in blow drying hair. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you'd like to know how I do this. So the next thing that I'm going to be doing is actually working. So I looked up on Google creative things that adults can do because, although creativity does stem more in the childlike perspective because people think that you can only be creative as a kid, but that is not true. So I got a bunch of different ideas, which you'll see later on. But right now, Google actually said that investing, learning how to invest, is a creative activity, and that is actually my job. I invest in the markets, and if you'd like to know more, let me know. My Instagram is going to be linked in the description. You can message me there. So next, of course, I have to read a book and drink my rose tea. If you haven't read this book yet, definitely recommend it. It is actually pretty funny. So now it is time to go outside. We're going to get coffee today. Oh, wait. Yep. Don't forget your mask, Leah. So I got my Dunkin' coffee, and now I'm going to Family Dollar because I like doing DIY projects, looking at stuff that I can create or recreate. They didn't really have much, maybe because of the pandemic. There's not a lot of things going on in the stores, or maybe they're running out, so we left that be. The next creative activity is actually to create a meal or a breakfast that you have never made or eaten before. So in this case for me, I got the idea to make rice cakes with peanut butter and dried berries, with bananas and my favorite, cinnamon, and then I ate that with my coffee outside. And to make it more creative and playful, I decided to bring my sister's dog Lana out and play with her, and it was such a beautiful day here in Chicago. I stayed out there for longer than I thought, and I played with her, and as you can see, she's very persistent. And don't worry, the hand that I played with her with, the toy with, was not the hand that I used to eat, as you can see, just in case you're worried. So then I had this amazing idea to screen record myself creating content for my Instagram because that's also a part of my job. Um, it definitely didn't come easy at first. It wasn't something that I picked up super easily and confidently. So I definitely recommend that you play around, see what your angles are. It makes you feel way more confident. Oh my gosh. So here, a ladybug landed in my hair, but I thought it was a fly. And y'all may not know, but ladybugs are my thing. And ladybugs, if they land on you, it's supposed to mean something. I forgot what that means, but it was such a special moment. I'm so glad that I came outside and experienced that. I truly feel blessed. So next I went inside because Lana was barking at the neighbors. You know how dogs be, they just want to say hi. So the next creative activity I decided to do was to take care of my plants, be a mama to these plants, because I felt like because of how I've been feeling, I've just been neglecting my children, which is not a good thing. So I dedicated like an hour and a half. Yeah, that thing broke. That's from Dollar Tree. Don't buy it from Dollar Tree. But anyway, um, because of how I've been feeling, I just haven't been taking care of them as much. And I heard that if you loosen up the soil and put holes through it, it helps bring oxygen down with the water and it helps your plants grow more. So if any pathos people, plant people out there, if they have any tips, if y'all have any tips, please let me know. I am a new pathos plant mama. I've always took care of bamboos as well as snake plants. Snake plants, I have no idea what to do with them other than to do this, I guess, but this wasn't as easy with this plant. Maybe I need to repot it, which I'm already searching to repot my other pathos. Oh, salud. So I'm going to be looking into how to take care of this snake plant, but if anyone has any ideas or if anyone knows exactly how to take care of them, please let me know. So here with my bamboos, I just separated the rocks from the roots because I did notice that with my oldest bamboo plant, the rocks sort of melt into the roots. And then when you want to change them out or move them around at all, they end up ripping the roots because the rocks turn into like some sort of sticky, gummy texture. So I removed them, I'm cleaning them, and I'm probably gonna look for another vase for them because they are getting bigger. And as you can see here, I'm cleaning the petals, and I don't know if you can see my mouth moving, but I am actually saying words of affirmations out loud to my plants. Plants have energy. Plants are alive. You gotta love them, and there's that one study of plants thriving or dying based off of the words and sounds that they're exposed to. So this is something that I like to do with my plants. Also, they were getting a little dusty, so putting water over them really, I think it hydrates them. So as you can see, my last bamboo plant all the way in the back, that is my baby. That plant was featured in my past bamboo videos. This one has stuck with me for so long, but I feel like because I've had it for so long, it's like the 35-year-old plant that as a mom I don't need to take care of as much anymore. So in my mentality and in my habits, I kind of let this plant go a little bit. So you can see that some of the leaves started browning and yellowing. I took care of that, but if anyone has any tips, I am totally open for being a better plant mama. Look how proud I am. So the next activity I wanted to do was listen to a podcast, listen to a fun podcast. I listen to The Office ladies. I freaking love The Office, and their podcast is so funny. While I play a matching card game. Fun fact, this card game I have had since like the 2000s. My mom had got this for me, and I don't know how I've kept it all these years, but this was definitely stimulating for the brain. Multitasking, listening to a podcast while doing this at the same time. It was a fun time. And I did this for several rounds, basically until the end of the podcast. Next, because I was feeling creative, I decided to fix the box that it came in. It's very old, as you can see, it's breaking apart. So now my goddaughter and my kids can play with it. Also, I don't know if you noticed that I changed my outfit several times in this video. I don't know what it was. The creativity juices were flowing, and it caused me to want to change my outfits. So the next creative activity that I am doing now is reading out loud this poetry book that my mom gave me. She has actually had this book since she was my age, maybe even younger. But I decided to read it out loud, and one, I love poetry. I even wanted to be a poet when I was younger. But I read it out loud because one, I needed my emotions to come alive, and two, I need to practice on my speech. I tend to stutter and I tend to overthink what I'm about to say, so even this voiceover is a challenge for me, but reading out loud really helps. The next thing that I'm doing is, of course, painting. You wouldn't have a creative day without doing some sort of artsy fartsy stuff. And I actually got the inspiration from the poetry book. It had this picture of a watercolor canvas, and I wanted to recreate it because I actually have a watercolor kit. Now, I'm sorry, y'all, I don't know where I got this kit from. I found an ad on Instagram, and everything on the packaging is some sort of other language, and I don't know what it says, so I'm sorry, I can't link it below, but I'm sure it'll come up somewhere. This kit is amazing because it comes with a water holding pen, and then the palette looks like plastic, but once you put water to it, it actually it liquefies, obviously. So I had a really fun time doing this. I'm really focused, as you can tell. Um, Staying focused on your creative process is really something that stimulates your brain. It helps you think, it helps you create, it helps you adapt. So now here I am revealing my portrait, or not portrait, but my picture. And there you go. I was super proud of it. This is the first time I've done watercolor in a long time, and I think it looks pretty close to the picture. So the next thing that I'm doing for my creative activity list is practicing my sign language. I used to practice sign language way back then when I worked at a bank, because there was a regular customer that would come in and he only spoke sign language. And I saw that one of the bankers spoke sign language to him, and I thought that was such an amazing thing to be able to provide that for somebody, because sign language, I think, is underappreciated. It's something that not many people go to learn as a language. Everyone wants to learn Italian and French, but sign language is actually very powerful. So I just decided to sit down for 10 minutes and do this, and you don't realize that just taking the time, 10 minutes out of your day to learn this every single day, you make massive progress. But we think that little bits at a time doesn't really do much. So this definitely inspired me to do this more. I'm hoping that by the end of the year I can do more of the general signs more instinctively. Yeah, it was hard. So the next thing, don't judge. My next creative activity is to play Animal Crossing. If it's a sort of simulation of The Sims, it is creativity for me. I freaking love creating worlds and houses, and as you can see, I'm shopping. So that was fun. I did that for about an hour. So next, what I didn't actually get to record it, but before I did my makeup, I was on a Zoom call with a couple of my team, my QC ladies. We were planning an event for the future. It's going to be a virtual event, and I think that was a creative process for me. So after that, I decided to play with my makeup, and y'all know, late at night makeup is the best kind of makeup application because you get to play, you get to experiment. But I also wanted to take this time to explain and elaborate on the results of how I felt after this full day of creativity. Now, first things first, you'd expect that a full day of doing only creative activities could kind of be overload, and you'd be right. By 5 o'clock, because I did this starting at 7 a.m., from 7 a.m. to 5 o'clock, I was totally focused and I was like thinking of the next thing. I didn't actually have a plan on what I'd be doing next and next and next. So having to force my brain to think, to get creative, what can I do next? What do I feel inspired to do now? I let that kind of flow through me throughout the day, and by 5 o'clock, I was exhausted. I was mentally exhausted. I wanted to take a nap. I wanted to say, stop, let me just lay down and not have to think for the rest of the day. Literally, I was so tired. But it's part of the creative process to realize what are your limits. How much time do you actually need to take time doing things that you love doing? Like, don't get me wrong, I love the work that I do, but sometimes it does get repetitive. So changing this routine really helped me learn about myself. And if that means that I only need a few hours of creativity time to decompress and to re inspire myself, then so be it. Now I know. And I really hope that this helps any of you watching realize that you don't need to do a lot, but you do need to try things out. Experiment, have fun with it, get creative. We are all human beings that need creativity. So I hope y'all got something from this. If not value, then entertainment. And I hope y'all have a beautiful and abundant day. I'll see you next time.